Hi, Jean. How are you?
I'm good. It's nice to see you.
It's nice to see you as well. So, just a brief introduction. So, Jean Sachs is the CEO of Living Beyond Breast Cancer, which is a nonprofit based in Philadelphia. And I've been really excited. The more I learn about you and the more I hear about you from other people, survivors, previvors, people who have had family members with breast cancer, you always fall in the top three charities of what people talk about when they talk about charities you can give to that actually make dramatic differences in people's lives. Can you tell me a little bit more about LBBC and what separates you and how you do that?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you. It's always nice to know that we are living beyond breast cancer is known. So we are a national nonprofit. We've been around for 30 years. So I think, we've really been in the breast cancer space for 3 decades. So we really get breast cancer. Our mission is to connect people impacted by breast cancer with trusted information and a community of support. So what does that mean? It means that from the moment you're diagnosed, you can come to Living Beyond Breast Cancer, learn more about this overwhelming time. You might have just left the doctor's office, a whole bunch of new terms thrown at you. You're terrified. So we can help people sort through those information so that they can make informed decisions. We have a helpline if they want to connect and have peer-to-peer support. We have closed Facebook pages if you want to have real-time support. We have a 12,000 page website. So anything you want to search, we have either a video, an article, or something on. And we do a lot of, right now, because of COVID, everything we do is virtual because we're very protective. Many members of our community are immunosuppressed. So we're not taking any chances. But we'll do a lot of live programs, whether it's a webinar or an Ask the Expert. But we really just want to help women diagnosed with breast cancer understand their disease, get the best care, know how to ask questions, and connect with others, because we think it really helps. And I know you mentioned previvors, and that's important to us too. So these are women or men who know they have a hereditary mutation, most likely BRCA1 or BRCA2, that makes them at much higher risk for breast cancer and ovarian cancer. So we do have resources for that group as well.
That's awesome. Thank you. And I say thank you personally because we've had the conversation that I'm BRCA positive, and that to me, that support has been so integral in my journey of making the best, most informed choices that I can make. And how can we as educators about ingredient safety best serve people fighting breast cancer, survivors, and previvors?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, look, we need more research on this. We need to know what are the environmental factors that are impacting cancer and other diseases. But what I hear most from women who have been diagnosed is you lose control. Your body has betrayed you and you lose control. So many women want to get some control back. And some of that is, what kinds of foods do you want to eat? What kind of products do you want to put on your body? And so I think helping the breast cancer community understand what, these steps they can take to begin to make better choices about their health as the research continues, which really needs to happen so that we can make clearer links as to what is, hereditary breast cancer is less than 6%. So we know it's not mostly genetics.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's control. Absolutely.
Yeah. And, I love that you bring up the science because we know as Beautycounter consultants, we educate above all else. And the piece that we lead with is the education and the science. And so I think resources like Environmental Working Group are vital to teach people that are any of the people that we talked about, previvors, survivors, people living with breast cancer. And that's what I've found the most impactful about being at your events when we were doing things in person. And I would stand at the booth for 10 hours. The number of times I pulled out my phone and said, hey, look, I'm not trying to sell you something. I want to teach you something. Here's the app. Go home, scan the barcodes, figure out whether or not what you're using is safe so you can make informed decisions. And the science is there, and it's not definitive enough that we have regulation around it. So that piece of it is so important. And yeah, it does, knowing that I can't control the environment, but I can control what I put on my body and in my body is exactly that, empowering. So
Yeah. I
so
think it's really
hardly agree.
important though, as you're talking to these women who've been impacted by breast cancer, not to, you can't control what you did in the past. So I think
Absolutely.
blame or feeling guilty is something women already feel when they're diagnosed. Like, what did I do wrong? Did I have kids too late? Did I not have kids? So we try really hard at Living Beyond Breast Cancer to really focus on the future. What are you going to do now? Not
Yeah.
focus on what you might have done in your 20s or, as teens. I also think the breast cancer community is always interested in educating the next generation, their kids. And I think with um, the products of Beautycounter, or just being really attentive to what younger people are putting, the makeup and the skin products they're using, they want to educate them as well. So
Yeah.
it's always a family issue.
Yeah. And that makes so much sense, especially when you are talking about the hereditary piece, right? Because there is that piece of, oh, I gave this to my kid,
Mhm.
which is always
Or
a
might
big,
have 50% chance, right? So
exactly, exactly. And so if we are looking to partner with a charity during the month of October, what would be the best way that we can support LBBC or whoever the organization is that we work with?
yeah, I mean, obviously I love Living Beyond Breast Cancer, but really, as
Me
what I
too.
always say to people is, be just like you're an informed consumer about your skincare and your beauty products, be an informed consumer when you're making your charitable donations. So we are a 4-star Charity Navigator rated charity for the last 16 years, which means, we are being called out for best practices. 87 cents that we raise goes right back into programs. So do your research, know what you're supporting and what you want to support. Do you want to support research? Do you want to support information or education? Do you want to support a charity that's very local to your community because that's important to you, or something more national? Is advocacy important? So I think, do your research. During Breast Cancer Awareness Month, there are lots and lots of pink products that you can buy. I think if you want to do that, that's fine, but make sure how much of that is going back to the charity, and if you really want to make an impact, writing a check or making a donation directly so the charity gets 100% is always better. And then shop for what you want to shop for.
Right.
So I think it's, every donation matters to every nonprofit. So I think it's important to just, pay attention.
Got it. And you bring up this concept of pink washing that I heard of for the first time this year. And I thought it was so impactful. For me, it really caused me to reflect on the way that I spend in October and making sure that, just like you said, I'm doing what I want to do from a donations perspective. And then retail is something different. And how do
Yeah.
I do that?
But I
Yeah.
have to say, Living Beyond Breast Cancer, we do partner with a lot of companies in October. You can look at our website and see the list. And not only does it provide financial support, but it also is awareness. So if you're buying,
Yes.
we often connect with women who might have never known about us because they bought something and our name was on the tag. So I, I don't like pink washing because I think you want to be an informed consumer. But I think if the corporate world wants to support a good charity and they're transparent about it, that's fine with us.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's a very clear explanation. Thank you. And so my last question is, what are your favorite Beautycounter products? What do you think is important?
It's so hard because I have to say I love so many, but my absolute favorite line is the Counter Time line, partially because I'm older and partially because I think it's really effective. So love sharing that with my friends and family and anyone who will listen. But love Dew Skin, love the overnight resurfacing peel, a lot of the body products. Really, I love the new formulated mascara. So happy that I feel that works so much better. So I'm a fan all the way around.
Awesome. And the one thing I'll say, you brought up Counter Time, which I think is one of the things I do talk to people about when we talk about retinol, because the science isn't there saying that retinol itself is harmful, but what is there is the science saying that retinol causes increased photosensitivity. So any people in this
Absolutely.
population, what I talk to them about is, look, if you are using retinol, make sure you're using a good, safe sunscreen that's not contaminated with benzene. And, so I think that conversation right in and of itself, just in hearing what you like, is like, oh, well, let's make sure that we're educating people, right, about the other choices that they're making. So thank you for that unbelievable lead in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think
Sure.
Beautycounter does a great job educating, and it is so important. It's a steep curve. I mean, most people don't know what they're
Yeah,
putting on their body, and it's much cheaper to go to the corner drugstore and buy something, but it's so important to really understand what's in these the ingredients in these products.
absolutely. And
And
voting with
love
your wallet, right?
environmental working group too. So
Yeah,
got the
wonderful.
app on my phone.
Great, perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time this morning. I know you're super busy this month, and just couldn't be more grateful for your time. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Shayna. I
My
appreciate all
pleasure.
you've done for Living Beyond Breast Cancer.
My pleasure. Have a great day.
Okay.
Bye.